Good morning. My name is Tina, if you're new here, and I do lifestyle videos. And I wanted to come back and do a video. I don't even need to say that because every time I'm on here, I'm obviously doing a video. But today is Sunday, November 2nd, and I wanted to show you guys a regular morning, but I've already made breakfast, so that's kind of out the picture. I'm currently just chilling. I just had breakfast and I'm watching my little baby on the baby monitor because he was just put down for a nap. His daddy did that. And then I'm gonna go on a walk with Caroline so you guys could come with me because I want to talk about some things that kind of have been, going on with her and, the baby and all that good stuff. So I want to start off, and I don't want this video to be too long, but I wanted to start off telling you all some things that I do towards the end of the year in order to prepare for the new year. And one of those things is manifesting. I'm huge on manifesting. If you go back to my beginning videos, I talk all about it, and I talk about exactly what I manifested. Some of those, just for anybody who doesn't want to go back, some of those things that I manifested for anybody who doesn't want to go back and watch are before I moved to Seattle. I was really, hoping to live in a nice apartment, to be able to afford the apartment and all those things. So that was one. And I ended up finding a loft apartment, but it was like 200 square feet. But hey, that was my first place by myself. And I ended up loving it, and I made it so cute and homey. I'm pretty sure I filmed in there too, so if you are interested in how that looks, just go back to my beginning videos. Actually, I don't know if I did, because I was house sitting for a friend around the time that I really got started in making these videos. But I did film in my second loft apartment, which was bigger, so if you want to go look at that. And then another one, this is the last one I'm giving you guys. I really manifested my partner, who I'm with today. I had been in like a slump with like dating and all that. So I decided to pause on all of the dating, and then I really set intentions. I manifested, and I thought about and wrote down all the qualities that I, love about myself. And then also those qualities I would love in a partner. And I set intentions. One of the things that I started doing was wearing like a pink gemstone. I'm not sure what the pink is. Well, the pink represents love. So I started wearing that. And I started doing other things. And eventually I ended up meeting my partner, and the rest is history. And it's a really cool thing that this month in November, we started talking about 2 years ago. And that's when I first met him. And then we obviously you don't know this, but we didn't meet up until, I didn't meet him in person until like December, because I met him towards the end of November. But it was really special to thinking about our beginnings and our origin story. So yeah, that's something cool. But my baby's about to start waking up, so I might have to pause and come back if he starts whining. So you might hear that. But let me get into this so I could get ready to go for the walk with Carol. Look, here she is, Caroline. Anywho, so some of the things that I do in order to start looking forward to the year ahead is I don't like to wait until January to do a New Year's resolution and start these new habits and everything. I like to start now and have a couple of months before the new year starts in order to be in those. She's gonna bark. To Caroline, go outside, come here. In order to have been rooted in those, anything new that I started, Lord, Oh my gosh. Lordy. Hey, get. Caroline. Sorry, guys. The baby's sleeping. Oh, come here. Come here. That is not okay. Oh my goodness. Now the baby's almost awake. He usually doesn't, Axel usually doesn't get bothered by Caroline barking, but he totally just woke up because of her. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see if he starts. I'd show you guys him, but you guys know that I'm not showing I'm not showing his face. And by him, I mean my son, Axel. Okay, so he's just yawning right now. Okay, so basically I start manifesting around this time. And what I do is I like sit down, and I'm looking at my phone. He's crying. I sit down and I review the year, and I ask myself, what did this year teach me? What am I proud of myself for? And then what do I want to leave behind before the year ends? That way I'm like, you know, opening up space for, you know, new things. So let me pause and I'll come back and I'll be on a walk with Caroline. Okay, I'm on a walk now and got Miss Caroline. Alrighty, so I wanted to start taking her on walks more. One, because she needs exercise, and then also I just want exercise too. I am 7 weeks postpartum now, and I love how I'm looking. Like, I love how my body looks, but there are a few things that I definitely want to start working on. So definitely going on walks more is very important to me. So in the forecast, it says it's going to rain every day this week, so I'm trying to get out, you know, before the rain starts. But I wanted to come back and talk about manifesting, okay? So I have my phone here and I just have notes on it because I've taken some constructive criticism and I've gathered my thoughts before I start filming, and I have like little notes. I might read them verbatim, but I think it's important to have like things that you want to talk about written down for me, because sometimes I just go on and on and on and I forget the point of why I'm talking. So my YouTube videos kind of seem like just a yap fest. So without further ado, I'm just gonna read these ones verbatim. But look at these trees, look how beautiful. I love fall and I love all the colors. And unfortunately, the leaves are already falling off the leaves, obviously, but I'm trying to enjoy them while they're still colorful. So back to this, okay? Because I don't want this video to be too long. So I was talking about manifesting. So once I write down that list, I kind of go back and reflect on those questions that, you know, are that I talked about. And then I have here, it's not just about writing a wish list, but it's about becoming in the energy of the version, it's about becoming the energy of the version of me I'm calling in. So along with those, oh my goodness. 1 second. Alrighty, I'm back. Okay, so I'm outside taking Carol for a walk. I'm admiring these beautiful trees. One thing about fall that I love is just like all the different color of trees we have here in our area and like in Washington in general. And I'm a big fan of trees. Obviously they give us oxygen, but they also do a whole lot more for the earth. So big fan of trees. Okay, so back to what I was talking about, manifesting. So not only do I ask myself those questions and reflect on those questions, but one of the things about manifesting is that you have to start being intentional about the you have to be in the energy that you want to start having. Or what I mean by that is, say for instance, I was talking about how I wanted love in my life. So the energy that I started having and moving towards or becoming was, wearing things that symbolize love, like the pink jewel or things like that. So when I reflect and when I start thinking about exactly what it is I want to achieve or manifest for the next year, I start to write those down, and I start to ask myself, okay, so if I say that I want to finish things that have been that I've started and not finished, that would be, the energy would be, start by thinking about the things that you haven't finished, and one of those things for me in specifically is yoga. So for those of you who haven't been watching me for a minute, about 2 years ago now, I got certified to be a yoga instructor. So I'm a yoga instructor. However, I kind of fell out of love with it, and I want to get back into doing yoga. So, and that could be, I just want to start off by, refreshing my memory, doing poses, having a daily flow of some sort. And eventually, who knows, I could teach a class somewhere. So that's one thing that I would love to begin to manifest, like getting back into shape. That goes hand in hand with that. So I think about what it is I want. I think about the energy I need to have in order to achieve it. I visualize myself, like here's a good example. I'll visualize myself doing yoga. I'll think about like the time of day that I want to do it, and I would like to do it. I'm doing this with you guys as I give you pointers. So I'd like to do it in the morning after Axel's first wake up. So that would be either around 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. So after I've fed him, changed his diaper, done anything else, and put him back down for a nap, I want to do something for me, and that's yoga. And I want to feel relaxed, calm, and at peace before and after I do the yoga. So that's exactly what you have to do in order to start manifesting. So start moving towards that energy. Start being actionable about the steps you need to take. Visualize yourself in, like I said, the yoga, or visualize if you want to get a new job. Visualize yourself in whatever position that you see yourself in. So that could be anything. And then think about how you would feel once you achieve that. And think about, as you're doing that, from now on, what do you want to feel, and how do you want to, what's going to make you happy with that new whatever it is, So manifesting for me is really important. It really works because I set my mind to it, and I actually work towards things. And I have notes on my phone just because I've taken some constructive criticism in order to not be just yapping about nothing, okay? Because my videos go on for way too long just yapping. So those are some tips. And then I wrote down, manifestation isn't about waiting, it's about becoming. That's why I start this process in the fall. When January comes around, I'm not scrambling to start over, and I'm ready. I'm already living in my new rhythm. So that's why I start, evaluating. That's why I start evaluating what I want the next year to be. So that's when I start manifesting. And then if you've been feeling, I'm reading the words that I wrote. If you've been feeling that pull to reset or reimagining your next chapter, don't wait until January. You should start now for reasons that I said earlier. And then if you want to manifest, here's a question for you. How do you prepare for your next chapter? And do you wait for January or you start early like me? So I gave you a few tips for manifesting. If you're interested in more, I'm sure there's other YouTubers who go into depth about what exactly manifestation is, because there are skepticals or skeptics. Oh my gosh, I'm hilarious. Who don't believe in manifestation, but it truly works. It's worked on me. And yeah, but I'm gonna end this video with Miss Caroline. I'm gonna put her on it, and you're just gonna hear me talking. So lately, and this is for new moms who have dogs, or who had dogs before your baby. So one thing I've noticed about Miss Caroline is, yes, she really loves Axel, and yes, she's very, protective of him, but it comes at a fault to where she she kind of lunges at my partner, who or when he goes and gets Axel. So it's like, I don't want that. Okay, now this is the portion where I talk about, give you a little update on little Missy down here, Miss Caroline. So with her and her, this is in regards to Axel. So she's been very possessive over Axel, and she's been lunging at Denzel every time he goes to reach for Axel or pick him up from me. And this could be happening like when we're all in the living room and we're all just chilling, and Caroline starts to become possessive over Axel. So that had been stressing me out for quite some time now. And one thing I'm learning to do right now is to express myself right there in the moment and not hold things and just like think about it to myself, because that causes a lot of stress on me, and I don't want to be stressed out. So I've been talking through things as they come up, and one of the things right now is Caroline's behavior. And one thing that I was like trying to ask people for help was like, what can I do about this? And luckily my sister ended up taking her, just because in that moment that my sister had agreed to take her, I had a friend coming over, so I was like kind of rushing to I don't know why I was rushing, but look at those pretty trees. But anywho, my sister was like, I could watch her, and I jumped on that, and I was like, yes, I just need a break, because I've been trying to manage everybody in the house when it comes to Caroline's possessiveness. So like, I don't want her to be possessive, and I don't want my partner to get upset when she lunges at him, and I wasn't expressing that. So it was just like a cycle that was starting to build up. And then by calling it out, like by naming like, hey, I need to fix this, that actually really helped me. And I talked to a few people and I got some advice, and one of the things that the piece of advice said was like to separate your dog, separate the baby, and don't give them access to the baby, because that's how they that's how they start being possessive. So what I've started doing was, if Denzel and I are in the living room and we're just either feeding Axel, hanging out with him, or whatever, Caroline has to be either outside or in one of the rooms, because if she doesn't have access to the baby, then how is she going to be possessive? So I've started doing that. It's definitely been working. It's brand new, and Caroline obviously is going to cry if she's like locked up, because she's never been locked up like that. So it's been new, but it's been working. So I'm going to continue with that. And yeah, but in other news, before I hang this up for next week, Denzel and I are moving again. I need to go through my videos and see how many times I've said that, because I've moved 4 times this year already in 2025, but I don't want to, I haven't mentioned it in any other video, but I will come back to that later on when it's time to move. But I'll just tell you, we'll be moving December 1st, okay? So it's not a bad thing at all, it's a good thing, and I'm gonna leave it at that because I just keep telling you more and more. But I hope you guys have had a wonderful weekend, and I'm gonna see you guys, I think, next week. We'll see, but deuces.